So you see, we're creating this kind of twilight zone where the fingers they're sort of doing the stuff that they do when they play the piano, but without any of the associated efforts that they would normally be having to express. And so they're getting a sensory experience, and then of course you make up all your variations, but in all the variations the arm sort of moves here and there and makes the fingers curl and uncurl and all sorts of different configurations, and then all the time the fingers are just hanging out and they're like dead rags. And you could and you could even roll in this way or that, and all sorts of stuff. And it's sort of a roly-poly, tumbly kind of hand. And then the fingers are all experiencing all sorts of various degrees of straightening and curling and straightening and curling. And now you see I'm doing what your teacher said, curl the fingers, but of course the fingers are just sitting there like a bump on a log, and the arm's moving, and then they curl and uncurl. So this is a neurological precursor to moving them. The next thing to do would be to get actually sort of play a note. So we're still doing all this stuff that we were doing, but somewhere in the middle of it, the finger actually did make a little bit of an effort. But it immediately stood up so much that there's no pressure. But somehow that's it. And you do this with one finger and you do it with another finger. So you told me that you did something like that. If you touch the key with the finger, then you could actually play. So this is sort of what we're doing here. You were actually onto something very smart.
Yeah, because I found exactly what you've been saying, that really helped. So I would just think of like just kind of doing this, like, so without really trying to activate the finger muscles. And
yeah,
like you said, I really found that very I don't know, what's the, like, freeing,
yeah,
I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now do it with the third finger like this. That's right. And then sort of keep the, okay, go, so let's keep that third finger tip on the key and then bring the wrist, the heel of the hand down here. Ah. Was there any dystonic reaction?
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Yeah. So you see, we're already, so we do this many times, and then one time we even try it with the fourth finger. So now, first we were doing like there's no effort in the fingers are just dead. And now that there's a little tiny effort in the finger, but it's immediately nothing. And it's immediately nothing. And it's immediately nothing. But somehow there's a sound. And now this time would you do what you're doing, but don't let your wrist go so high. So come to here instead. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, you see this folding of the hand. See,
it's like you said, it feels very effortless.
Mm-hmm. So it's sort of imitating the movements that the hand would do when it's playing, but totally stress-free. And now this time with either the second or the third or the fourth, but you do exactly what you're doing it, but when you come in here, bring the heel to rest. Bring the heel to rest.
Okay.
That's right. And again. Yes! So that's ultimate folding. It can't fold any more than that.
Oops.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. It's so skeletal, like you can almost see the bones just folding in on themselves and unfolding again. So if you put effort into the finger, if that finger was pulling the arm forward, that would evoke the dystonic reaction.
Right.
But because the arm is doing all the work, then the dystonic reaction forgets to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really when I thought, okay, you know, like Alan really is onto something, because I've never, you know, I've always had to use all this mental strength to try and, because that was one way of treating dystonia from different people is, you know, they would say, okay, try and focus on like your shoulder muscle and just concentrate so much on trying to get it to relax. But, you know, because the habit is so strong, like you can always feel like the muscle contraction, like whereas with this way, I don't really have to think about anything at all other than just, you know, folding my hand.